Hey Canucks fans, let's talk about the potential roles for the Sedins in Canucks management. I'm Clay, email I'm at Canuck Clay on Twitter. I'm at Clayton Emo on Instagram. I'm the founder of the GLCPC, the good-looking Canucks Positivity Club. This is my Canucks take, all in one take. It's Clay's Canucks commentary for Monday, May the 31st. This is where we get Canucks insight that's positive and timely. Shout out to my Hall of Fame members, Jens95, Simalexander, Justin Credible, nucksfan number 29, Lucas Gates, Chris Seifried, Adam Broomfield, Shea Family Channel, and Jamie Sports Talk and more. Thanks for your support as always, and thanks to the support of members of all levels. You are listed in my video descriptions. If you want to become a member of the CCC Crew, press the join button underneath this or in my videos or on the memberships tab on my YouTube channel. Thanks to everyone who joined me for my live stream last night at 10 p.m., my regular Sunday night gathering. A lot of fun, a lot of really, really funny discussion, including the lights going out on me, the true, original OG of Canucks After Dark. Just kidding. Speaking of Canucks After Dark, me and Parker tonight, 10 p.m., and I'm sure we'll be dissecting a few things. Podkolzin's new contract, the Sedins role, which I'm going to talk about now, and, of course, Game 7 of Montreal-Toronto. By the way, my prediction, it doesn't really matter to me who wins, but my prediction, I was going to go with a 4-2 score. I think Montreal's going to win this. I think it's white knuckle time for the Maple Leafs, so let's go 4-2 Montreal as my prediction. I'm in my family van today, as you can see. No, that's not our car seat. We sometimes pick up our niece, so there's no surprises there. Gail and I are too old to have another kid. So yes, but I'm in the van, had to drop off a few things at work today, so that's why the different view. But this is only for today. But let's talk about the Sedins, because they've been in the news a lot in the past couple days. A lot of speculation. The Sedins have been linked to the Canucks ever since they retired a few years ago, because of how smart they are, how respected they are, how entrenched they are in the community. It would make sense that they would have roles. But we also knew that they wanted to take a bit of time away from the team when they retired, which made sense, focus on their family. But with all the tumult and all the volatility around the Canucks management situation over the past few weeks and few months, their names have come up more and more often. And then we heard that Daniel and Henrik have been talking to Jim Benning and Francesco Aquilini a lot recently. Jim Benning talked about it last Friday, saying that we expect to announce something within the next 2 weeks. So it sounds like more of a when as opposed to an if. So I want to talk about, what the role for the Sedins may be. And a couple of things came up today as talks, not necessarily with them, but talks in the media speculation has certainly ramped up over the past few days. Elliotte Friedman apparently was on Donnie and Dolly, I believe this morning. I didn't catch it, but apparently he was talking about, he anticipates that the Sedins are going to be very involved in the Abbotsford franchise. We know that the Canucks moved their farm team from Utica to Abbotsford, and they basically got to start from scratch, right? Everything from personnel to business plan to all those things. So Elliotte Friedman speculated that the Sedins are going to be heavily involved in that, and that would be cool. And there's a quote, something like, they'll learn the biz. So I'm not sure. I think he was talking about the Sedins will learn the business by basically, starting this franchise and making all the big decisions you need to. I don't think it was that Abbotsford is going to learn the biz from the Sedins. So I think it's the Sedins are going to learn the biz from that experience, and I'm excited for that. That would seem to make a lot of sense. Obviously the Sedins were brilliant on the ice, well-conditioned athletes, the best conditioned athletes on the team. So they understand dedication, commitment. They understand what it means to be a pro. And they also understand, I thought that their acumen and their advantage will be personnel decisions when it comes to players, right? They know what type of player you need and what type of situation, chemistry, all that, especially, finding chemistry with each other. And then with Alex Burrows. So everything that was on ice, coaching strategies, chemistry, the systems, all that kind of thing. I thought that's where their strength is going to be. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced. I can be convinced how well they think the game from a management standpoint. Everything from business plan to salaries to hirings and firings, HR, all that growing in a new market, in a relatively new market, so to speak, in Abbotsford. So that part's going to be really interesting to me if they indeed take a lot of a lot of the Abbotsford franchise on, is just to see how they do. You know that they have strong connections in the community. They're so well respected. They're so smart that I have no doubt that whatever they put their mind to, whatever task they are given, that they will do it, and they'll do it well. I've also taught many times that it's going to be very important for the Sedins to clarify their expectations. In my regular speaking life, in my church life, I talk about how unclear expectations leads to conflicts. It's the number one source of conflict in everything, in relationships, in marriages, in families, in friendships, in work, in ministry, whatever. When you have unclear expectations, that's what breeds conflict. So I really think that the Sedins are taking their time. The reason why we haven't heard an announcement yet is they are working hard to have everything laid out properly. And that would be smart. That would be very strategic, and it would be very Sedin-like, right? To be very deliberate and intentional, and to make sure that they know what they are getting into. And they can learn from the Trevor Linden experience. And I bring this up because Trevor Linden did an interview with Global TV earlier this morning, and the question about, and part of it was about the Sedin's potential involvement. And the reporter asked Trevor, what advice would you give to the Sedins? And Trevor said something that I've been saying actually for the past couple of weeks is, you don't have to give them a lot of advice aside from be clear with your expectations, because Linden said they're smart guys, they're first-class guys, they're hardworking guys. And then he said two things that were really interesting. He says the Sedins know the lay of the land over there, meaning in the Canucks organization, and they know how it was either like they know how the organization is run, or they know what the organization is like. And again, he reiterated how smart they were. They'll be able to adapt and figure it out. So it wasn't like Linden was throwing shade, but we know that Linden hasn't talked that much about the way he left the team on not so good terms with Aquilini and Benning. So Linden, class act as he always is, didn't throw anyone under the bus, didn't throw any shade, but said a little bit in what he didn't say, and basically saying that he doesn't have any advice to give to the Sedins because they are so bright, they are so smart, and they know what they're getting into when it comes to the organization and how it works and the lay of the land. So kind of telling the way Linden talked about that, but it really makes sense. I've always known Linden to be a very smart man, and I think what he's saying is very smart. He's not even... I'm the one who's pushing that the Sedins really need some clarity, some clear expectations. Linden was more of the mind where whatever happens, they're smart enough to figure it out. But I think the key point that I want to make here is the Sedins, they witnessed what happened to Linden 3 years ago when he left the team 2 or 3 years ago, and how bad it was at the end, and how he had a vision for a long-term plan where Jim Benning and Aquilini seemed to want to get better pretty quickly. And that's why they're at loggerheads, and that's led to ultimately Linden leaving. Whether he was pushed out, whether he left on his own accord, it doesn't matter. The fact that it was not, it was a bit of a rocky relationship there. So that's the thing the Sedins can do, is they can learn from Trevor Linden's experience. I'm sure they've spoken many times, and they will be absolutely crystal clear of what they're getting into before they actually announce anything. So that's, I think, something that we should keep an eye on as Canucks fans. But it's really a no-brainer. If the Sedins want to do it and they're willing to dedicate the time and energy, why not? They know the market, they're entrenched in the community, they're very smart, very strategic, very intentional, very deliberate, and you need to have that kind of smart, patient thinking when building a team, especially if you're building a franchise like the Abbotsford, whatever they're going to be called, if that's indeed to be believed. So want to leave that with all of you. Tell me what you think the Sedins' future is, and would you like them to take hold of the Abbotsford franchise as it gets off the ground? Leave a comment below. I'd love to read, react, and reply to your thoughts. Also, leave a score prediction for tonight. I'm going with Montreal 4-2. Again, it's not necessarily what I want to happen, but it's what I think will happen, and then we'll have time to talk about it on Canucks After Dark, Parker and me, tonight at 10 p.m. In the meantime, I just bit my tongue. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. Have a great day. God bless, and go Canucks go.